All right, it's Friday and we got another Dana White video because Dana White levied a direct threat at Bud Light and I completely missed it. Someone pointed it out to me and I was like, how on earth did I miss that? And how have I not spoken about it yet? And so we're going to talk about it now. I'm not just going to talk about that though. I'm also going to treat you to a feast for your eyes and your ears. If you enjoy watching Dana White rant about things, this is my favorite rant of his ever. I have cited it on the channel many, many times. But I actually just went back and watched it today and I was like, oh my God, this is better than I remember by a long shot. The Peloton one is great just because, as in case you guys have not seen this, which seems impossible. Even like Bisping goes way out of his way not to dive into political stuff. It's funny. I actually saw in the comments yesterday, people were like, on the video that I'm talking about, that I did about Dana telling Theo Von that, to throw Pelotons out of the Performance Institute and all that stuff, the whole rant that he did on Peloton. And I saw in the comments, how come you didn't act like this on Bisping's show? You were really subdued. I'm like, I'm on Bisping's channel. How many times do you see Bisping talk about politics or culture? He clearly avoids that stuff on purpose. Like, what kind of, like, Bisping, like, who's the A side of this equation? You know what I mean? Like, who's the A side? Michael Bisping, Hall of Fame UFC fighter, total badass, beat Anderson Silva, knocked out Luke Rockhold to win the title, or Jesse on fire? Why don't you just get on his channel and just start talking shit like you normally do? It's like, what, dude? If he wants to come on my channel and talk shit, he's welcome to. I'm not going to go, hey, Jesse, would you like to come over for dinner? We're going to use the nice china. Fuck yo china, son. How you like them apples, dog? That's how I eat at my house, dog. I throw the china on the ground. So that's my response to the comments that I got about me. Why don't you keep the same energy, dog? What are you talking about? You keep the same energy in your house with your family as when you go to, like, Michael Bisping's house for dinner? Grow up. But anyway, what was that tangent from? Oh, right, because Bisping and Anthony even covered this story when they try to avoid politics. So everyone's seen it. Dana White ripped the Peloton CEO. Him and Theo went in on this clown for telling Theo Von to take a piece of content down because he had RFK Jr. on. Wait, what's wrong with RFK Jr., the American descendant, like one of the most iconic and important families in the history of the country? Oh, well, he said that taking jabs can be dangerous and that sometimes pharmaceutical companies lie. And you're all, right. Well, that's why. Let me just make sure I understand. So one of the most well-researched people in the entire world on the subject stated facts about studies that existed, which you have definitely not cross-referenced to see whether or not they're true. You've probably never even listened to him say 11 consecutive words. You, CEO smart guy, running a big publicly traded company with your stupid glasses and your stupid face, you think of yourself as a smart guy, and yet you're in a position to tell someone to take a piece of content down because you read a headline about him on CNN? Grow up, moron. So that guy, and they ripped him, and then they banned Peloton from the Performance Institute. Anyway, so that video, everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. And so we're going to talk about the Bud Light connection, and I'm going to show you the greatest rant in Dana White history. And I'm not even going to make you wait for that. I'm going to show you that first, and then we're going to talk about Bud Light, and then we're going to do all of that. Now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I haven't said this in a little while. Look at this. What's this? This is a jar full of candy, and there's a sign right here that says, take a piece of candy, honor system, leave a quarter. And, sometimes people will come up and they'll just take the candy. They're all, fuck this guy, fuck this store. You're all, dude, I'm raising money for cancer-ridden children. And they're all, but there's no one here to enforce the rule, dude. So guess what? I'm taking your candy and you ain't getting a quarter. Like, those kinds of people are dicks, So my channel is, if you're going to watch my content, it's free. All you have to do is just click subscribe. Literally, just click a button. You can watch all of it you want forever. Like 1,500 videos. You can have access to all of them. You just click subscribe one time. I guess if you don't, it just means that you hate kids who have cancer. So What? Anyway, all right, so let's watch the rant, and we will dive right into this thing. This is the best thing ever. He is talking about Bob Arum. I just realized that this window is not perfect, so I'm going to make it a little bit less annoying on the eyes. And now, let's go. Bob Arum from Dana White.
Yeah, I didn't see how that whole thing played out, but I heard Bob Arum, fucking little bitch, crying about it. Fuck him. I had to throw that in there. I fucking hate that guy. Anyway.
Did you see his fight, not to bitch on Bob Arum, but he said that, I've lost so much money on Terence Crawford, I could build a house in Beverly Hills or something? Like,
you imagine if I said that? Are you fucking kidding me? You guys would murder me if I said that. I'd never hear the end of that. That's what you do. That's not his fucking problem. That's your problem. His problem isn't to figure out how you make money. You fucking signed a deal with this kid. Your job is to promote him. Your job is, you made a deal. All these kids that I signed, and if you look right now at all the kids that we signed and how many people we have on our roster is very inflated right now. We have a very, very big roster, the biggest roster we've ever had in the history of the company. I have to pay all these kids. How I pay them is not their fucking problem. It's my fucking problem. And this guy wants to go. Imagine me saying, I got to pay Conor McGregor fucking this much money. I could have built a house in Beverly Hills. Shut the fuck up, you fucking scumbag. Pay your fucking fighter what you owe him. That's your job. Bob Arum is a piece of fucking shit. Good night, everybody.
Oh my God, it's the best thing ever, dude. And yes, I Trojan horse that on you guys. Because I just said it's a rant, but it also demonstrates, again, we can talk about fighter pay, we can talk about this, we can talk about that. Does that sound like a good guy when you're talking about fighter pay? Does he sound like a bad guy? Or does he sound like a person with principles? Okay? That's not his problem. You signed a deal with this kid. They are like clockwork. The UFC is like clockwork. Any fighter will tell you they always get paid. They always get paid on time. There's no funny business. But how hilarious is that, dude? This guy is the CEO of a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar company, and he's on ESPN with an ESPN logo in the backdrop, owned by Disney, and he talks about one of the most famous fight promoters in the world and just goes, Bob Arum is a piece of fucking shit. Peace. After hammering him for 3 straight minutes. He's the best guy on earth. Why do people hate on him? I mean, I know why some people hate on him. They're like, are you serious? He's platforming the fascist president of the United States that is threatening to turn all the people into vermin and throw them into camps and then put them in the oven. You're all, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, you haven't been watching mainstream media lately? I'm like, oh, actually, I did. I did catch that segment. He used the word vermin, and so using that word is being characterized as him being like Hitler. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word. But you know what's really funny about that, though, is no one knows how to manage media better than that guy, which means that he used that word on purpose because he knew you dumb fucks would go and say that over and over and over, which meant that he would get more airtime, which means that he would be more visible because they've done the numbers and they're like, we could shoot a guy in the center of his face in Times Square and it's not going to matter. So we just want airtime. And you gave it to him, Dunskies. Anyway, but so look, dude. Dana White, if you are not someone who has TDS, I'm not saying you got to love the guy. I'm just saying, having the derangement syndrome really does seem like a mental disorder. But unless you're one of those guys, what could you possibly not like about this guy? I don't understand. But honestly, that said, I don't really understand what anyone would not like about me, but a lot of people really don't like me. I found that out when I did Believe You Me. I was like, I'm reading the comments. I'm like, is this real? There's this many people who are butthurt about me? Jesus. The only thing that I could explain that as is like people who got bent out of shape maybe like 2 years ago when I would like intentionally piss people off just to get them like to remember the channel and they just never came back. It's like, what do I say that would get people that bent out of shape? They're all, are you serious? Dude, are you serious? What did you say? No, really, I don't know what I said. They probably have like a list of like a million things. They're like, you said that the Marvels is going to crash because it's an all-girl superhero movie. That's why I went on Believe You Me and commented that Jesse on Fire is the worst ever. Oh, I'm so sorry I hurt your little woke sensibilities. You're going to really hate the rest of this video because now we're going to talk about Bud Light. Ooh, I love Bud Light. Okay, love Bud Light, dude.
No, I love it. And when you guys boycotted it, I couldn't stand it. Fuck Jesse on Fire. Don't ever have him on again, Michael Bisping. Boo.
Fuck you guys. You know my name. I don't know yours. Anyway, so the Bud Light connection, right? So the Bud Light thing. So I thought about this after. Well, no, I'm take that back. I did not think about this. The person who wrote this to me, whose actual name I don't know, this was not directed at you. I am actually saying thank you. I'm saying like these little cockbangers who are all in some weird little Reddit group or some Discord or something that clearly they were like, let's go fuck Jesse up on Believe You Me. I'm like, yeah, man, dude. I don't understand how people don't understand this. It's like, yeah, let's get an army of people to go comment negative shit on Jesse's video. You guys must not listen to my videos because you clearly don't understand. You're doing me a favor, idiot. The more engagement you give, the more it boosts the video. The more that people think that you hate me, the more they read the comments and then they go look at my channel because they're like, what's wrong with this fucking guy? You guys are so dumb. You're so fucking stupid. You're so fucking stupid. How could you not understand that at this point, dude? You can't comment anything negative about me with my name in it that hurts me. Every time you do it, you're helping. And there's just so many of them that like the only way I could say collectively to fuck you to all of them is just be like, hey, idiot, you did me a favor. You think I was going to read that and be like, my God, my feelings are hurt. Jeez. You think Bisbing's going to read that and go, oh my God, Jesse on Fire is a fucking piece of shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I know these guys. Who are you trying to hurt, man? Fuck you. Clearly it did hurt my feelings if I just talked about it for 5 minutes. But nonetheless, so getting back to the Bud Light thing. All right, so someone smart sent me a message and they were like, dude, just think about the Peloton. Think about how Dana talking about the Peloton thing on Theo Von's channel could be directly at Bud Light. He's made perfectly clear. Don't tell me to say shit. Don't tell me to take anything down. Anybody who sponsors us is 100% aligned with anything that I say, any of the five. It's exactly what Sean Strickland said, except in the most, like, here's what happens, dude. Here's what the fuck happens if you try to talk. And I'm saying this not as a shot at Bud Light. I'm saying this in a very specific way that I'm going to get to that I had to ease you guys into because I'm going to say something that people aren't going to like right now. Sorry. I'm going to say something that people aren't going to like. So when the Bud Light boycott, let me rewind. When Dana talked about why he did the Bud Light deal, I was listening to him, I was listening to what he said. And he said, I'm aligned with their values. And I realized the initial gut react, kind of like the knee-jerk reaction from a lot of people was like, they hear aligned with values and they're like, Bud Light values means, support Dylan Mulvaney and the grooming of children. Okay. What I heard was clearly Dana's trying to send them a message that the people who actually run the company are like us. Obviously, that's what he means. Nonetheless, give me examples. And Dana's like, I think he said that they've given hundreds of millions of dollars to the Fallen Heroes Fund, which is taking care of the children of people who get killed in the line of duty as firefighters, military, or police. Okay, just to run that back for you really quick. If you are a father, okay, a father, and you have taken a hard stance on Bud Light, which I did as well when they did that shit, and now they've just done this where you can kind of look and say, all right, now I need to reevaluate the situation. What is it that they're saying? And then you find out a piece of information like that. You're like, okay, so they hired some woke VP of marketing who allocated this money to try to go woke and then just directly said into the public, like, yeah, I hate the fratty, white boy, frat boy thing. And we're going to just move away from that. And we're moving towards this groomer weirdo shit. And so everyone was like, oh, I have an idea. How about fuck you, we'll never buy your shit again. And then Bud Light fired her. They now fired the chief marketing officer. Every single person who was involved in this is gone. By the way, Alicia, I honestly feel kind of bad shitting on her, but like Alyssa Heinerschneid has been fired from Bud Light. And if you go to her LinkedIn, okay, if you go to Alyssa Heinerschneid LinkedIn, she still has listed as her headline bio, first female head of marketing at Bud Light. I'm like, hey, sweetheart, I don't think you want to. Do you think that you advertising that is good for the next round of females who might be in charge of a male brand? Like, I know you guys are the most egocentric, narcissistic people on the face of the earth, but are you, because you say it's all about feminism, right? It's not about you. It's about feminism, right? Not about you. It's about the broader good, the greater good. We're getting through the glass ceiling, okay? This is the ultimate example of how that entire thing is complete and total fucking bullshit. Self-serving bullshit. And I'll prove it to you right now. So, Alyssa Heinerschneid, okay, who is responsible for the most cataclysmic marketing decision in the history of American business, at least in the last 100 years, right? She was the first female to do it. She still has that listed on her LinkedIn. Think about that for a second, okay? Think about that. How is that going to reflect on every other aspiring female trying to get into a head of marketing role in a company that markets to men? How do you think that's going to go? So for her own glory, because she's a narcissist and has to have her, greatest accomplishment in her LinkedIn, even though it is like, hey, how'd that go? What was the ROI on that decision for Bud Light? Even still, she still lists it without even considering you're a marketing person. Isn't this marketing? We put something out public and this is the effect that it has on things. You're putting out publicly that they finally put a female in charge and it led to the biggest calamity of all time. You are sabotaging any females trying to get those jobs. But you're still going to keep it up because you aren't about any kind of movement. You don't give a shit about other girls. You are a self-centered narcissist that is using this shit to your own advantage. Just like everybody else is, at least most people have the ability to at least be honest about it. Stop pretending you care about other women. You don't give a shit about other people. You are self-centered like all these other people that are using it for their own good. Anyway, fuck you. I'm sorry. I do, like I said, I do kind of feel bad for her because good luck getting hired again, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Some woke ass company will probably, fucking Peloton will probably hire her, dude. Peloton will probably hire Alyssa Heinerschneid. She'll be fine, dude. Alyssa Heinerschneid, the brand new marketing genius that's going to be running the Peloton marketing campaigns. Guaranteed, dude, the next place she goes, she's going to be dressed like in like a flannel shirt, like a baseball cap. She's all, yeah, what I realize is that we really need to bring this brand we need to go America first. That's the future. You're like, oh, now it's America first. Weird. It's almost like you don't even exist as a human and you just go, and you got it wrong with Bud Light because you were paying attention to Twitter. And as we know, since Elon took over, it was not real. Twitter was never real. It was never real. Anyway, but going back to my original point about what we're going to say about Bud Light, when I find out that Bud Light is allocating hundreds of millions of dollars over this amount of time to put the children of dead heroes through college, okay? I'm sorry, that outweighs them doing a marketing campaign with Dylan Mulvaney, period. For me, if they ever do something like that again, okay, let me also just qualify this. I don't drink Bud Light, dude. I don't drink Bud Light. I'm a person with a platform, right? Probably means more than like just a single person either drinking Bud Light or not drinking Bud Light, because like if I made a case for not drinking it and I had 5 people, I have 133,000 subscribers, but if 5 people were like, you know what, I'm not going to drink Bud Light, guess what? That's more people influenced than just a single person on their own. So, but I don't drink Bud Light. I never did. I'm not a beer guy, dude. If I drink, I'm going to drink something that can get me drunk fast and quick because I hate the taste of all of it. It just is what it is. I have a very sophisticated palate. So when I tell you a thing like they're off the hook with me now, it doesn't mean shit because I didn't buy it before and I'm not going to fucking buy it now. What I'm saying though is if I did drink beer, this is the moment where I would buy it again. And maybe not even buy it again. Let me put it like this. This is the moment where if I saw someone drinking Bud Light, I wouldn't judge them anymore. Because up until now, if I saw someone drinking Bud Light, I was like, hey, dude, why don't you go tell your son to put on a dress instead of his pants, you fucking weirdo. Now, that shit's over for me. People want to drink Bud Light, you fucking drink Bud Light. The thing about Dylan Mulvaney, that shit's important. If people are acting like, oh, dude, it's just a marketing thing. No, dude. That shit's important because what that movement actually represents is grooming children into this insanely weird thing. Did Candace Owens post this thing of this book that they were reading at some school? I just can't. My little boy, the princess, like groomer shit. It's important. But if they are like, and I keep seeing people being like, they're sponsoring pride parades. Okay. So I don't, look, I have no way of knowing what that is, like how much money they're giving there or what the pride event actually is. If they're just donating a couple $100,000 to like regular homosexual people who are just like, yeah, we're like just doing our normal annual pride parade. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. If they're like, yo, we're sponsoring a fucking drag show for kids, then guess what? I am going to come back on here and go, remember what I said about fucking Bud Light? Fuck these guys. Never buy. There's no amount of money that you could spend with Dana White that will outweigh that shit. If you're on board with grooming kids, that outweighs everything. But given that you have been helping the children of dead heroes for years and years and years, I am willing to say, you know what? From here, I'll just say, I don't care. I don't buy it myself, but you have bought your way out of the doghouse with me through your partnership with Dana White and the UFC. That just is what it is. You can get super mad at me or whatever. I'm not looking to argue with anybody. If you still want to boycott him, fucking boycott him. I'm talking about myself. Me personally, I will look and just be like, whatever. People are drinking Bud Light. I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Because again, Dana White talking about Peloton. Okay. I think he's made pretty clear what happens if Bud Light ever came to him and they were like, man, you got to take the logo off because Sean Strickland said that white people are the best or something. What? That was a really bad example. I don't think he would say that. But, Sean Strickland gets on the microphone. He's like, women do not belong in sports. They belong in the kitchen. They should have their stomachs full of cum and their mouths full of cock. And that is basically what girls are good for. And, listen, trans people aren't real. And I don't give a shit, He gets on the mic and like Bud Light right there. They're not going to tell Dana to, hey, make sure that he doesn't say, oh, can you cut that out of the broadcast? Look at what he did to Peloton. So, again, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying where my emotional thing on Bud Light is, and that just is what it is. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm honestly not even trying to influence anybody. I'm just telling you where my brain is at. You take care of the families of fucking dead heroes. That is a very, very, very impactful detail for me. The more I thought about it, the more I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, what's actually important? Like I said, the grooming shit is really important. As long as they're not grooming kids, then this weighs more. Anywho, so I love all of you. Happy Friday. Have an incredible weekend, you guys. I love you. And I have a very funny video coming for you guys. It's possible that I already did my next fake interview, and there's a reason why I'm not going to show it to you yet. But you guys will get to, what is it today? Friday. So Saturday. Definitely you will get to see it by Monday, and I will explain exactly why you don't get to see it until Monday, but it is fucking fire, dude. People have told me it's the best one yet. And I was like, better than the Nina one. And 3 people said they think it's funnier than the Nina one. I don't agree. I don't see how you could possibly top the I need penis. It's just like objectively too funny to top, but this one's pretty good too. Anyway, I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I love you guys. Bye-bye.